Hey you. Yes, you. The one overthinking whether he really loves you or not. I see you. I've been you. And guess what? Love doesn't have to be this big, confusing mystery. Today, we're breaking it down. 9 clear signs he's deeply in love with you. So grab your tea, your blanket, or your dog. Whatever makes you feel cozy, and let's get into it. Okay, let's start with the first sign. And trust me, this one's a game changer. Sign number 1. He listens to you. Like, really listens. Here's the thing. Anyone can hear you, but when he listens, like really listens, it's a whole different story. It's the way his eyes lock onto yours, not just waiting for his turn to speak, but genuinely absorbing every word you say. He remembers the name of your childhood hamster, Mr. Whiskers, wasn't it? Your oddly specific coffee order, a half CAF oat milk latte with a dash of cinnamon, because why not? And that cringeworthy story about your prom night when you tripped over your own heels and spilled punch on your date. It's not just about the big moments though. It's the little things, the way he notices when you're quieter than usual and asks if something's on your mind. Or how he brings up that random fact you mentioned weeks ago, like how you've always wanted to visit Iceland to see the northern lights, and he's already looking up flights. When he listens, it's not just with his ears, it's with his whole being. He's not just nodding along. He's storing pieces of you in his mind, like a treasure map to your heart. And let's be real, in a world where everyone's distracted by their phones or half listening while scrolling through memes, someone who truly listens is rare. Like, unicorn rare. So if he's hanging on to your every word, babe, that's not just interest, that's love. It's the kind of love that says, you matter. Your stories matter. You're my favorite story. And honestly, that's the kind of connection we're all secretly chasing. Because when someone listens like that, it's not just about being heard, it's about being seen. And isn't that what we all want? To be seen, to be known, and to be loved for exactly who we are? Sign number 2. He prioritizes you. Life gets crazy, right? Like, seriously crazy. Between work deadlines, family drama, and the never-ending hustle, it's easy for people to get lost in the chaos. But here's the thing. When he's in love, you become his calm in the storm. You're not just another item on his to-do list. You're the highlight of his day. He'll cancel plans with the guys without a second thought because he knows you've had a rough day and need someone to vent to over a pint of ice cream. He'll wake up at the crack of dawn, even after a late night, just to call you before work because hearing your voice sets the tone for his day. And when life throws curveballs, like when your car breaks down or you're swamped with deadlines, he's there, not because he has to be, but because he wants to be. It's not about grand gestures or sweeping declarations, though those are nice too. It's about the small, consistent choices he makes every single day. It's him texting you good morning, beautiful, even when he's running late. It's him remembering your favorite takeout order and surprising you with it after a long week. It's him showing up, not just when it's convenient, but especially when it's not. And let's be real. Time is the most valuable thing anyone can give you. It's non-refundable, irreplaceable, and finite. So if he's making time for you, even when life feels like it's spinning out of control, that's not just a man who cares. That's a man who's saying, you're my person. You're my priority. You're my always. In a world where everyone's busy and distractions are endless, someone who chooses you, day in and day out, is someone worth holding on to. Because love isn't just about the big moments. It's about showing up in the small ones, even when life gets messy. And when he does that, girl, that's not just love. That's the real deal. Sign number 3. He's proud to show you off. Okay, this one's my favorite. If he's introducing you to his friends, his family, and even his dog, because let's be real, pets are basically family too. That's not just a big deal, it's a huge deal. It's like he's unlocking the VIP section of his life and handing you the golden ticket. He's not hiding you away or keeping you in some secret compartment. He's shouting from the rooftops, look at this incredible human I get to call mine. Think about it. Meeting his people is like stepping into his world. His friends? They're the ones who've seen him at his best and his worst. Like that time he tried to do a backflip at a party and, well, let's just say it didn't end well. His family? They're the ones who know all his embarrassing childhood stories, hello, awkward middle school phase, and still love him unconditionally. And his dog? That furry little judge of character? If the dog approves, you know you're in. But here's the thing. It's not just about the introductions. It's about the way he talks about you when you're not there. It's the way his face lights up when he says your name, like you're his favorite topic of conversation. It's the way he includes you in group chats, family dinners, and weekend plans without a second thought. He's not just bringing you into his life. He's weaving you into the fabric of it. And let's not forget the little moments. Like when he casually slips your name into stories about the future. When we go on that road trip next summer, or you'll love this place I want to take you to someday. He's not just thinking about today. He's imagining a tomorrow with you in it. So if he's proud to have you by his side, if he's showing you off to the people who matter most, that's not just a sign he's into you. It's a sign he's all in. He's not playing games or keeping options open. He's saying this is it. You're my person. And honestly, that kind of confidence and commitment, it's the kind of love that makes you feel like you've hit the jackpot. Because when someone is that proud to have you in their life, it's not just about being seen, it's about being cherished. And who doesn't want that? Sign number 4. He supports your dreams. Love isn't just about romance. It's about being each other's biggest cheerleader, fiercest ally, and softest place to land. It's about the way he lights up when you talk about your dreams, even if they sound a little crazy. Like that time you said you wanted to start a llama farm or write a novel about time-traveling pirates. He doesn't just nod and smile. He leans in, asks questions, and says, "Tell me more." Because your passions matter to him, not just because they're yours, but because he genuinely wants to see you shine. When you achieve something, big or small, he's the first one to celebrate with you. Got a promotion at work? He's popping champagne or sparkling cider if that's your thing. Finally nailed that recipe you've been trying to perfect? He's taking a bite and saying, "This is the best thing I've ever tasted," even if it's slightly burnt. He's not just proud of you. He's invested in you. Your wins feel like his wins because he's right there in the trenches with you, cheering you on every step of the way. But here's where it gets real. Love isn't just about the highs. It's about the lows too. When life throws you a curveball, when you're doubting yourself, when you're overwhelmed, when you feel like you're failing, he's not running for the hills. He's right there beside you, holding your hand and reminding you of your strength. He's the one saying you've got this, even when you're not sure you do. He's your rock, your safe space, your constant in a world that can feel anything but steady. And it's not just about words. It's about actions. It's him staying up late to help you prep for a big presentation, even though he has an early meeting. It's him sending you that article or podcast he thinks might help you with your goals. It's him showing up day after day, not because he has to, but because he wants to. He's not just your boyfriend. He's your partner, your teammate, your person. Real love isn't flashy or dramatic. It's quiet, steady, and unwavering. It's the kind of love that says, "I see you, all of you, and I'm not going anywhere." It's the kind of love that makes you feel like you can conquer the world, not because you have to, but because you know he'll be there to catch you if you fall. And that, my friend, is what real love looks like. It's not just about finding someone who makes your heart race. It's about finding someone who makes your soul feel at home. And when you find that, hold on to it. Because that's the kind of love that changes everything, even in small ways. Love isn't always about grand gestures, though, sure, who doesn't love a surprise bouquet of flowers or a candlelit dinner? But let's be real. The real magic of love is in the little things. The tiny, almost imperceptible moments that sneak up on you and make your heart do a little flip. It's the way he reaches for your hand without thinking, his fingers lacing through yours like it's the most natural thing in the world. It's the random hug he gives you while you're standing in the kitchen, just because he walked by and couldn't resist. It's the way his hand rests on the small of your back when you're walking into a room, like he's saying, "I've got you." And then there's the look. You know the one. It's that way he stares at you when you're not paying attention. When you're laughing at something stupid, or scrolling through your phone, or even just tying your shoes. It's a look that's equal parts admiration, affection, and awe, like he can't quite believe you're his. And when you catch him, he doesn't look away or play it cool. He just smiles, like he's been caught red-handed but doesn't care. Because he's not hiding how he feels. He's proud of it. Proud of you. It's in the way he finds excuses to be close to you. Sitting a little too close on the couch, even when there's plenty of room. Brushing your hair out of your face just because he can. Resting his head on your shoulder when he's tired, like you're his safe haven. These aren't just random acts of affection. They're little love notes, his way of saying, "I'm here. I'm yours." And let's not forget the way he listens to you. Really listens. Not just to your words, but to the things you don't say. He notices when you're quieter than usual, when your smile doesn't quite reach your eyes, or when you're fidgeting because something's on your mind. He picks up on the little things, the things no one else sees, because he's tuned into you in a way that's almost instinctual. Love like this isn't loud or flashy. It doesn't need to be. It's in the quiet, everyday moments that add up to something extraordinary. It's in the way he makes you feel seen, cherished, and adored, even when you're just sitting in silence. It's in the way he's constantly finding ways to be close to you, like his heart is tethered to yours. So, if he's doing these things, if he's showing up in the small, seemingly insignificant ways, his heart isn't just hooked. It's yours. Completely and irrevocably. And honestly, that's the kind of love that lasts. Because it's not about the big dramatic moments. It's about the million little ways he shows you, every single day, that you're his everything. And that's the real deal. Sign number 6. He talks about the future. With you in it. When he's deeply in love, he's not just thinking about tomorrow. He's thinking about forever. It's not just about the next date or the next weekend. It's about the next chapter, the next adventure, the next everything. If he's making plans that include you, whether it's a vacation next year, a concert 6 months from now, or even just a casual, "We should try that new restaurant next week," that's not just a man who likes you. That's a man who sees you as his future. And honestly, that's the dream, right? It's in the way he talks about the future, not with hesitation or uncertainty, but with excitement and intention. He's not just saying, "We should go to Italy someday." He's saying, "Let's go to Italy next summer. I'll save up, and we can stay in that little villa by the sea you've been dreaming about." He's not just imagining a life. He's building one, with you at the center of it. And it's not just the big stuff either. It's the little things that sneak into everyday conversations. Like when he says, "Our kids are going to be so cute," even though you haven't even talked about kids yet. Or when he casually mentions, "When we get a dog, it should definitely be a golden retriever." Like it's a given that you'll be sharing a home, and a life, together. It's the way he includes you in his dreams, not as an afterthought, but as the main character. But here's the thing. It's not just about the words. It's about the actions that back them up. It's him saving up for that trip, researching neighborhoods you've talked about living in, or even just making sure you're on the same page about the future. He's not just dreaming. He's doing. Because when you're in love, you don't just talk about forever. You build it, brick by brick, moment by moment. And let's be real. In a world where so many people are afraid of commitment, finding someone who's not just willing but excited to plan a future with you is rare. It's like finding a diamond in a sea of pebbles. It's the kind of love that makes you feel secure, cherished, and valued. It's the kind of love that says, "I'm not just here for the good times. I'm here for all of it. The messy, the mundane, and the magical." So, if he's making plans that include you, if he's talking about the future like it's something you're building together, that's not just a man who's into you. That's a man who's all in. A man who sees you as his partner, his teammate, his forever. And honestly, that's the kind of love that makes life feel like the greatest adventure of all. Because when someone sees you as their future, it's not just about finding love, it's about finding home. And isn't that what we're all searching for? Sign number 7. He's vulnerable with you. Here's the truth. Love requires vulnerability. It's not just about the butterflies, the laughter, or the late-night conversations that stretch into the early hours. It's about the moments when he lets his guard down and shows you the parts of himself he doesn't share with anyone else. If he's opening up to you, sharing his fears, his dreams, his insecurities, and even the things that keep him up at night, it means he trusts you completely. And trust, that's the foundation of deep, lasting love. It's the glue that holds everything together when life gets messy. Think about it. Vulnerability isn't easy. It's scary to let someone see the real you, the you that's not always put together, the you that has doubts and fears and flaws. But when he does that with you, it's not just a sign of trust, it's a sign of love. It's him saying, I don't have to pretend with you. I can be myself, and I know you'll still see me as enough. That kind of emotional honesty? It's rare. It's precious. And it's something to hold on to. It's in the way he tells you about his childhood dreams, the ones he never quite chased but still thinks about sometimes. It's in the way he admits he's scared of failure, or that he sometimes feels like he's not doing enough, even though he's killing it at life. It's in the way he shares his past, not just the highlights, but the messy, complicated parts too. The heartbreaks, the mistakes, the moments he's not proud of. He's not just telling you stories. He's giving you pieces of himself. And here's the thing. When someone is that open with you, it creates a bond that's unshakable. It's not just about knowing each other's favorite movies or how you take your coffee. It's about knowing each other's souls. It's about being the person he turns to when the world feels heavy, and being the person who can make him feel lighter just by being there. But vulnerability isn't a one-way street. When he opens up to you, it's an invitation for you to do the same. It's a safe space where you can share your own fears, your own dreams, your own messy, beautiful truth. And that's where the magic happens. That's where love goes from surface level to something deep, something real, something that can weather any storm. So if he's letting you see the real him, the unfiltered, unedited version, that's a big deal. It's not just about love. It's about trust, respect, and a connection that goes beyond the superficial. It's about building something that's not just passionate, but profound. Because when two people can be completely themselves with each other, that's when love becomes unstoppable. And honestly, that's the kind of love that changes everything. It's the kind of love that makes you feel seen, understood, and cherished in a way that nothing else can. And isn't that what we're all looking for? Someone who loves us not in spite of our flaws, but because of them. Someone who sees us, really sees us, and says, you're my person. Always. Sign number 8. He makes sacrifices for you. Love isn't always convenient. In fact, most of the time, it's the opposite. It's messy, it's complicated, and it doesn't always fit neatly into our schedules or plans. But here's the thing. When he's willing to make sacrifices, big or small, just to see you happy, that's not just a man who cares. That's a man who's deeply, unshakably committed. It's not about losing himself or bending until he breaks. It's about choosing us over me. And that, my friend, is the heartbeat of true love. Think about it. Love shows up in the sacrifices. It's him driving an hour out of his way to pick you up because your car broke down, even though he's exhausted from work. It's him skipping the big game with his friends to stay in with you because you've had a rough week and just need someone to binge watch your favorite show with. It's him waking up at 3 a.m. to comfort you when you're stressed or anxious, even though he has an early meeting. These aren't just acts of kindness. They're acts of love. They're his way of saying, you matter more to me than my comfort, my time, or my plans. And it's not just about the big, dramatic gestures. It's the little sacrifices too. It's him eating at that vegan restaurant you love, even though he's a die-hard carnivore. It's him sitting through a rom-com marathon when he'd rather be watching action movies. It's him listening to you vent about the same problem for the third time, not because he has to, but because he knows you need to be heard. These moments might seem small, but they're huge. They're proof that he's willing to put your happiness on the same level as his own, or maybe even a little higher. But here's the beautiful part. When someone loves you like that, it's not about losing themselves. It's about finding a new version of themselves. One that's stronger, kinder, and more selfless because of you. It's about building a life where we comes first, where your joy is his joy, and your pain is his pain. It's about creating a partnership where both of you feel seen, valued, and cherished, even when it's hard. And let's be real. In a world where so many people are focused on what they can get, finding someone who's focused on what they can give is rare. It's like finding a lighthouse in a storm. Steady, unwavering, and guiding you home. It's the kind of love that makes you feel safe, even when everything else feels uncertain. So if he's willing to make sacrifices for you, if he's putting us before me, that's not just love. That's true love. It's the kind of love that doesn't just say, "I'm here for the good times." It says, "I'm here for all of it. The hard, the messy, and the magical." It's the kind of love that makes you feel like you've found your person, your partner, your forever. And honestly, that's the kind of love that makes life worth living. Because when someone loves you like that, it's not just about being happy, it's about being whole. Sign number 9. He says, "I love you," and shows it. Last but definitely not least, he doesn't just say the words, he lives them. Anyone can say, "I love you," but when he loves you, you'll feel it in every look, every touch, and every moment you share. It's not just about the grand declarations or the poetic speeches, though those are nice too. It's about the way his actions match his promises, leaving no room for doubt or second guessing. When he loves you, it's not just something he says, it's something he shows, every single day. It's in the way he looks at you, like you're the most fascinating person in the room, even when you're just scrolling through your phone in sweatpants. It's in the way he reaches for your hand when you're walking down the street, not because he has to, but because he wants to feel connected to you. It's in the way he remembers the little things, how you take your coffee, the song that always makes you smile, the story about your childhood pet that you told him once, months ago. He doesn't just listen. He remembers. Because you matter to him. And it's not just about the sweet moments. It's about the hard ones too. It's about the way he stays calm when you're upset, not because it's easy, but because he wants to be your safe place. It's about the way he apologizes when he's wrong, not because he has to, but because he values your relationship more than his ego. It's about the way he shows up, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's hard, because he's committed to making this work. When he loves you, you'll feel it in the way he prioritizes you. He's not just texting you when it's convenient or making plans when he has nothing better to do. He's carving out time for you, making space for you in his life, because he wants you there. He's not just saying you're important. He's proving it over and over again. And let's talk about the way he supports you. It's not just about cheering you on from the sidelines. It's about being in the trenches with you. When you're chasing your dreams, he's your biggest fan, your loudest cheerleader, and your softest place to land when things don't go as planned. He's not just there for the victories. He's there for the struggles too. Because when he loves you, your wins are his wins, and your battles are his battles. But here's the thing. Love isn't just about what he does for you. It's about what you build together. It's about the way you grow, both as individuals and as a team. It's about the way you challenge each other, inspire each other, and make each other better. When he loves you, it's not just about him. It's about us. It's about creating something that's bigger than both of you. Something that's built on trust, respect, and a whole lot of love. So, if he's not just saying the words but living them, if his actions match his promises and you never have to doubt how he feels, that's not just love. That's real love. It's the kind of love that makes you feel seen, valued, and cherished. It's the kind of love that makes you feel like you've found your person, your partner, you're forever. And honestly, that's the kind of love that makes life feel like the greatest adventure of all. Because when someone loves you like that, it's not just about being happy, it's about being whole. So, did you notice any of these signs in your relationship? If you did, congratulations. You've got a keeper. Someone who not only says the right things but does the right things. Someone who shows up for you, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. Someone who makes you feel like you're the most important person in the world, even on your messiest days. That's not just a partner. That's a soulmate. And honestly, that's the kind of love we all dream about. But if you're still wondering if you're sitting there scrolling through this and thinking, does he really feel this way? Don't stress. Love isn't a race, and it's not a checklist. It's a journey, and it unfolds in its own time. Maybe he's not there yet, or maybe he's showing his love in ways you haven't even noticed. Love doesn't always look the same for everyone. Sometimes it's loud and obvious, and other times it's quiet and steady. The key is to pay attention to how he makes you feel. Do you feel seen? Do you feel valued? Do you feel like you're his priority? If the answer is yes, then you're on the right track. And if you're still waiting for that kind of love, don't settle. Don't ever settle. You deserve someone who loves you deeply, passionately, and unconditionally. Someone who doesn't just love you for your strengths but also for your flaws. Someone who sees your messy, complicated, beautiful self and says, "You're my person. Always." That's the kind of love that's worth waiting for. The kind of love that makes you feel like you've finally come home. Because here's the thing. Love isn't just about finding someone who makes you happy. It's about finding someone who makes you feel like the best version of yourself. Someone who challenges you, supports you, and believes in you, even when you don't believe in yourself. Someone who's not just there for the good times but sticks around for the hard ones too. That's the kind of love that lasts. That's the kind of love that changes everything. So, whether you're in a relationship, just starting something new, or still waiting for the right person to come along, remember this. You deserve a love that's real. A love that's deep. A love that's yours. And when you find it, or when it finds you, you'll know. Because it won't just be in the words. It'll be in the way he looks at you, the way he touches you, the way he shows up for you, day after day without hesitation. It'll be in the little things and the big things. It'll be in the way he makes you feel like you're the most important person in the world. And honestly, that's the kind of love that makes life worth living. So don't settle for anything less. You're worth it. Every single bit of it. Thanks for hanging out with me today, lovebirds. If this video resonated with you, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights on love, relationships, and everything in between. Until next time, keep believing in love, because you're worth it. See you soon.